Welcome to the Women's Motorsports Network podcast, the show that puts the spotlight on the incredible women who fuel the world of motorsports. From drivers to crew members, engineers to fans, and everyone in between, we're here to celebrate the trailblazers, dreamers, and doers shaping the sport we love. Each episode, we share inspiring stories of females of all ages from every corner of the motorsports universe, past, present, and future. It's a journey through the seasons of life filled with heartfelt moments, laughter, and a whole lot of horsepower. So, whether you're a lifelong fan, a racer yourself, or simply curious about the extraordinary women behind the wheel, settle in, relax, and enjoy a fun and uplifting ride with us. This is the Women's Motorsports Network podcast, connecting and celebrating women in motorsports, one story at a time. Let's hit the track. Hello, everyone. This is Melinda Russell with the Women's Motorsports Network podcast. And my guest today is Gina Kolevar. Now, is that right, Gina? Did I
That
say it right?
you said it correctly.
Okay. Sometimes I struggle with last names and I do my best. I try to make sure I say it right. So, Gina, I want to welcome you to the show today. And would you start by telling us a little bit about yourself, your family, your pets, so we can get to know you better?
Sure. I am 51 years old. I am a registered nurse and I'm working my dream job. I'm a clinical auditor for the state. I have two grown children. I actually have a daughter that's getting married in 2 days.
Oh my gosh,
Yep.
exciting.
Yes. And I have a son. He's 31. And I have three grandkids. And keep very busy. I have a bulldog named Tucker, and he is my racing sidekick. He goes everywhere with me except for the very hot days when he has to stay home, and he's never happy about it.
No.
So,
No.
yeah, I have always been affiliated with the racing circuit, and it's just part of my life and who I am. And so, um, just one of those things you want to check off your bucket list.
Absolutely. So, how did you get started in motorsports?
I grew up at a racetrack. My dad raced. He raced a super late model, which you very rarely see anymore. Those are kind of special events up here where I live. But he did race that. I grew up basically sleeping in the stands as a small child. I remember being about 3 years old, and it was a dirt track. So you woke up and you were covered in dirt. So my dad raced, and he passed away from esophageal cancer. It has been 14 years. And after that, my best friend passed away. I've actually had two best friends that have passed away from breast cancer. And one of them wrote a note. And in the note, she wrote, "I want you to do what you've always wanted to do." So when I was younger, a girl getting in a race car and racing wasn't commonplace. And I was 43 years old at the time and thought, well, I'm going to give it a try. So I did. And here I am 8 years later, still plugging along. And racing is, my dad always said it's an addiction. And we all laughed at him, but he was so correct. It's an addiction. So once you get in the car and you get over the fear and you keep moving, then, once you get going, you can't wait to get back in. So
Yeah, he's so right. It is so addicting. The smells, even the dirt, all those things. It's addicting for sure.
yes, by all.
Yeah. So it's addicting. We know you're addicted to it. You admitted that. But what is it that keeps you going back every weekend or whatever? Because it's expensive, it's hard work, it can be frustrating. Why do you keep going back?
Um, a large part of it is family. Once you get going and you've established yourself at a track, it's family. I can honestly say I stepped away from the racetrack when I, got married and started having kids and stuff. And then when I decided to go back, it was like I didn't miss a beat. I mean, the people that have been there have always been there. I've always been welcomed with open arms. The volunteers and the people that are employed by the track have been incredible to me. I mean, they've been so good. We did kind of hit a little snag in the beginning. It got really competitive within my group. So I thought, as I'm quite obviously the oldest woman out there, that I would let the mom vibe kick in. And so I started cooking meals for everyone. And so it's an every Saturday thing now. So when the races are done, we all sit and we talk and we break bread and everybody gets along. We have a very tight knit group. We all get along very well. And it's very important to me to keep that unity piece in there.
Yeah.
And I enjoy going back more for the company of the people I race with than anything. I mean, like I said, I won't lie. I love being in the car, but I also like just being able to see everyone. They're my family and I miss them when I'm not. So.
And so what track is that you race at, Gina?
I race at Whittemore Speedway. It is Michigan's oldest continuously operated speedway, and I can proudly say I am the oldest woman to ever win a feature race there. So,
Oh,
yes.
So I'm going to write that down. It's interesting. I just interviewed another gal that races there, and I learned she has another really cool. Whittemore has a lot of really good traditions.
Oh, yes.
She's the fourth generation woman racer.
Oh, wow.
At that track.
Is it Caitlin? Her mom, I think she said her mom did race there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So, for a little track kind of in the middle of nowhere, really, right?
Yep.
It's got some long-standing, very cool traditions.
Yes.
And yeah, awesome. So how'd you feel when you won that race?
It's funny you asked that. I've said so frequently, I was in shock kind of when I won it. It was one of those nights that I won every race I drove that night. I don't know what happened. I mean, not that it's bad. I mean, I expect to win, but it was just one of those nights where everything felt right. And I kind of knew before the race, it felt good. I had pole position. You can't complain about that, right? So I was there, and sometimes I make a joke and say I'm pretty sure my dad's taken over the wheel, and that probably was one of those nights. And I was kind of in shock when it happened. Like, I guess, I didn't savor the moment. So now I'm kind of hungry for the second one, so I can enjoy it a little more and take advantage of it, because the first time I didn't quite like I should have.
Yeah. So. But I think that's just from, like you said, the shock of it and just not realizing, what to expect or how to feel, even, for sure.
Yeah.
And so now you do, and now you'll enjoy the second one.
Yes. You see people get out and they're banging their fists on the car and climbing on the roof, and I didn't do any of that. And then I was thinking, well, what the heck? And maybe it's because I'm older. Maybe my emotions are like telling me don't climb on a car.
Yeah. Better to keep your feet on the ground.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. So tell me about your car. What do you drive? What color is it? What number is it? All those things.
It's a stock car. It's a front wheel drive. I have a Nissan Altima. I have been affectionately deemed the Nissan Queen at the track because there was another girl that was racing a Nissan and she moved up. She's moved up in the world. So I'm the only one driving the Nissan, a female. So I'm the Nissan Queen.
Okay.
I laugh and say queens are old. That's the only reason they gave me the title.
Yeah.
It's the Ultima. It's white and blue. It's a particular shade of blue that my dad always had on his car. So it's important to me to keep that shade. In the beginning, we actually went and changed the paint scheme on our car every week. I've had a Minion car. I've had a Dukes of Hazzard car. I have had a Batman car. I have had so many different types of cars. But when I got to the shade of blue, I couldn't leave it. My heart was there. I knew what it meant. I knew what it symbolized. And so I haven't stepped away from that. This year I did. This is my 8th season of getting in a car, and I've always wanted to have the chrome numbers, which isn't anything special, but I got them this year. So I'm really excited that I got my car with my special. My dad, his car, the favorite was those two. So I think that's probably the attachment to it.
Yeah. And what number are you?
84.
And was that your dad's number?
It was, yes.
I knew that. I mean, I didn't know it, but I in my heart I knew it because that's a typical thing that we pick those numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Awesome. So you've been racing for 8 years.
Yes.
How much longer are you going to race?
It's funny you say that. I've kind of been taking it year by year. I actually got diagnosed with autoimmune disease and I have rheumatism. So there are good
Oh, I'm
days and bad days.
sorry.
But this year has been pretty phenomenal. I haven't had any days that the next day I've thought, oh my goodness, I can't move or anything like that. Now, my dog, on the other hand, he needs a few days to recuperate. But for me, I've done pretty well.
Okay.
I keep feeling this good. Like I said, I really enjoy getting in the car. I don't see myself leaving now that I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously time will tell. We just
Right.
take the day as it goes. I do put myself in timeout on occasion and say I'm taking a week or two off, but it's more the emotion, the passion that you get caught up in it. And this year has been a struggle, like mechanically for me with my car. I just cannot seem to get it tuned in the way we need to. And so
Okay.
I did put myself in timeout one week, and that was all it took for me to be ready to get back in. So,
Yeah. So do you have somebody that helps you work on your car?
I have lots of somebodies that help me. When I started off, the very first night I was there, I had about 3 or 4 drivers that came up and they befriended me and they have not left my side. They have been there the whole way along. I can call them anytime, day or night, and they help. Um, I obviously have the car owner is what I call him, who maintains things. And when we started, I don't think he even knew how to do an oil change. So we've progressed a long way. Still learning as we go, but I have basically one of my best friends that passed away. Her son races as well, and he's kind of my adopted go-to. He's
Okay.
my and I promised to always be there for him, and he's done the same for me. He actually, my car got totaled in one of the races. Somebody just ran into me in the right place and bent the frame, and he literally built me an identical car. So I have to remind myself sometimes that it's a different car because I forget.
Yeah. What a wonderful young man.
Yes, he's incredible. He's incredible. I have made the most phenomenal friends and family out of this experience.
Hmm. And that's the thing that you'll take with you no matter whether you race for a lot of years or not many years or whatever. Um, you'll still have all those friendships because
Mm-hmm.
they don't go away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And
Yeah,
a lot of my dad's friends come and check in on me and make sure I'm okay too. So
that's nice.
yeah, it's nice to have that support.
Yeah. So, you said sometimes, the dog needs more recuperation than you do. But how do you find like balance or, take good care of yourself and we still have laundry and groceries and all those things to do
Mm-hmm.
and then and race. So how do you combine all that so that you're kind of in balance or hopefully you're in balance?
You you're gonna laugh at me. I joke and tell everybody I have OCD. I am extremely particular. Fridays are shopping days. That means whatever I'm cooking on Saturday, I'm getting that food ready. I like to bake. I bake a lot of cupcakes. I'm also the vice president of the Chamber of Commerce for Whittemore. So yeah, I cook for bingo on Monday nights. That's kind of my thing. That's my getaway. And that's kind of my Saturday race routine is that I get up and I cook because it allows me to not think about anything else. I'd
Hmm.
rather worry about burning food than whether or not my car is going to do well and how I'm going to do. You allow yourself that moment to get
Uh-huh.
anxious and you feed off of it. So I have to do whatever it takes. I also go to yoga 3 nights a week. That's very helpful. So
It probably honestly is very helpful. It's very relaxing for you, isn't it?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. I do attribute that very largely to being able to be what I need to be as far as like to stay in the car and stay comfortable. So
Yeah. Yeah. So, Gina, what do you cook and how many people do you feed on a Saturday?
oh, I usually cook for about 50. Last week was enchiladas and Mexican rice. And then they're on a cookie kick because it's been so hot that we can't do
Uh-huh.
anything else. But yeah, it varies. I let them pick the menu. I kind of laugh at bingo because like when I cook for them as well, because somebody asked me a question, like, how do you know what to cook for people? And I said, these are all comfort food people, like everybody around here. I never cook anything that the track is serving or anything like that.
Right.
I don't feel like that'd be fair, but yeah, I cook them. You know, some of the people that come racing, this is the only cooked meal they get in a week. And when it's the end of the year, that's one of the things they say, like, I'm going to miss this. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I bet you find it hard to believe. Like some of them call me Mama Bear, Mama G, or whatever. So, it's part of the fun of getting into this when you're older. Like
Uh-huh.
I said, this year has not been favorable. I have not won a race yet, and usually I'm pretty good with heat races and stuff like that. So it's starting to weigh on me a little bit, but hopefully
Mhm.
we'll get the demons worked out of the car and figure it out. So
Yeah. Oh, I hope so. And stay positive, which is, I feel like you are a positive person because you're very giving. Not everybody would want to cook for 50 people every week. Plus bingo. I don't know how many are at bingo, but that's a lot to take on. So I'm sure that not only are you appreciated, but you must be a really good cook.
I'm getting better. Well, to me, it's commonplace. It's what I've had my whole entire life. But yeah, I'm told I'm pretty okay at it. So
Well, and everybody doesn't grow up that way.
right,
And
right.
so for people who haven't grown up in a lifestyle where home cooking is kind of the norm, then that's a big deal.
It is. It is. And like I said, one of my friends posted on social media yesterday, like some kids are the lucky kids that get to grow up in the racetrack, in that scene. And I'm one of the lucky kids. I got to
Mhm.
do that. My Saturdays were a bunch of guys out in the garage and a race car engine revving and someone grooving the tires and fixing last week's dent. We have enough time to get that in, let's do it. And my dad hopped in his car and literally drove it down the street because it was 2 blocks away to the racetrack. And that's what I grew up with. I mean, that was
Mhm.
very commonplace for me. And to go to the racetrack and walk in, they knew who you were, they knew who you belonged to, you could run wherever you wanted. And
Yeah, it was safe.
it was very safe. And that is one thing I will say. I still feel like they can kind of have that atmosphere
Mhm.
at Whittemore. It is small, but it's so worth it to be able to have that peace of mind with your family and your kids being there. Now, my kids are all adults, but
Yeah.
it's for those that aren't, it's nice.
Yeah, for sure. So, have you ever had anybody come up to you at the track and say, my little girl or my little boy, whatever, would like to get into racing? What would you say to them?
I encourage everybody to do everything. And I'm a prime example that it's never too late to try.
Mhm.
You know, when I started this, one of the things was some of the drivers were like, well, they didn't feel appreciated. We're front wheel drives. We're considered the economy class. We're the
Right.
beginners. And I laugh because most of the people in my class are not beginners. And the ones now that are in the bigger classes, and they're winning are the ones that have started out with me. So,
Yeah.
it's incredible to watch people grow. Um, you never get too young or too old to try. If you want to do it, you need to do it. And
Mhm.
you got to check things off of that bucket list. I did host some cancer races for my dad, and we made profits from t-shirt sales and donated to the community, to individuals in the community, and helped them. That tradition is being carried on now for another individual. And then as
Oh,
far as my dad goes, we do weekly, it's called the Dash for Cash.
yeah.
And what it is we pick a class and they do the 4-car dash or the fast dash, I guess, the fast cars, and whoever wins gets the extra money out of the pot for that. So
Mhm.
it's been very nice and rewarding. And many people throughout the community always want to pitch in. I've had people walk up and just give me money and say, put it toward this. And so that's what we do, is we
Yeah.
try to give
That's
back.
that's the small town thinking that you live in, which
Hmm.
is, you don't see that as much in a bigger town.
No,
And
no.
it's different for sure. Yeah. What's a piece of advice that either you've been given or you would like to share with somebody? Could be life advice, could be racing advice, anything.
Racing advice is seat time. When I started racing, everybody said, you need more seat time. You need more seat time. And I would say, what are you, like, stop. And
Right.
as the time has gone on, I still need more seat time. I think we all do. I think,
Yeah.
if you're not learning from racing, then you're not paying attention, because there's a lot of times you can get into a car and there's any driver that can tell you, I know an intentional hit from an unintentional hit.
Oh, yeah.
Or I know when, he did this or they did that. And there's some drivers that my biggest thing I'll tell them is you have to use all of your senses in your car and don't overdrive your car. There's a lot of people that get in the car, they get tunnel vision, they get going, they're not paying attention. They overdrive the corner. I mean, I've done it. We all do it. But it's one of those things you really have to pay attention, get your seat time, learn your vehicle, be comfortable with your car. And I always make a joke and say, I drive my car the way it wants to be driven, not the way I want to drive it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different car almost every time,
Yeah.
Rarely do you get in your car next week and the track feels the same as it did the week before.
Nope.
So it's a lot of learning and adjusting. Life advice, my only thing I can say is just for everyone to give the best version of yourself every day. And there's no guarantee that we're going to have a great day every day, but you can try.
Right. So on that note, racing is one of the sports that you lose more than you win.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a fact. So how do you deal with, if you have a bad night at the track, somebody runs into you, something breaks, you make a mistake, how do you handle?
You just explained my entire season so far.
I'm sorry about that, but you know what? You're not alone. So know that for sure.
Yes. And that is my first piece of advice. If you feel like you're the only one having a bad night, you're not. You're never alone in this. I could walk up to any other driver and say, how many times has somebody walked up to you tonight and told you what to do in your car? And they'll all say at least 5 or 6 times, and that's just part of the sport. There's a people that like to offer advice, and they're good intentions. So when you have those bad nights, my benefit is I get to go back to my trailer and I always know there's someone in there digging in food or something. So I know that I've done something right at least.
Yeah.
Just be consistent and be respectful, if you've hit someone else or you wrecked someone else's car, have the etiquette and be respectful to walk and say, my gosh, I didn't mean to do that, but it happened, and it's just part of racing. But sometimes those things are the things that fuel a lot of drama at the track. So you got to be accountable for those things when they happen. So always, always, always stay humble. So.
And set a good example, I was watching Flow Racing the other night and the guy tapped out. And even the announcer said, wow, you don't see many people tap out anymore. And that's true,
True. I always joke and tell the flagman, I can't tap out because I'm not tall enough. I can't reach, but I'm sure I could make it known. I have pretty bright gloves. So
there you go. So how about your favorite race memory?
My favorite race memory. Well, I actually have very many.
Okay.
But one of the times I have been nominated for the Michigan Auto Racing Fan Club Sportsmanship Award. So I have won that. That was a great night. I've won Best Looking Car for 3 years in a row. I call that my turkey. So I have those good memories. I've won the Randy Peters Award from the Speedway, which is actually for like outstanding, individuals who help the Speedway or donate their time or do things that promote the Speedway. So when I actually won that award, it was on the date of my dad's death. So I did a toast and everybody raised their glass. There was not a glass sitting on the table. And that probably is like the most, that was the award moment right there. But also again, winning my feature. And then the first year I held the Gene Ott Memorial Race, my best friend's son, my inherited son, as I say, he won the race. So his mom was very weak. She had cancer and she got on my back and I carried her out on my back. So, so lots of good memories, and moments that just are treasurable,
Lifetime of memories.
Yes. And sometimes we don't see that until we start having to look backward more than forward. So.
Exactly. So in 2022, I won the media, I think it was the media award for the Michigan Speedway Promoters.
Oh,
No, not Michigan Speedway promoter. It was the Michigan Fan Club. I never can think of the name. Michigan
Auto race.
Automobile Racing Fan Club
Yes.
Association. Anyway, I was so shocked because, being here in Michigan, I had never heard of that club.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they reached out to me and said, you were nominated and have won this award. And I was like, what? I was just shocked. And
Well,
so
congratulations. See,
that
it
was a
feels
huge
good.
honor.
It
Yeah.
feels good to have those things that you can look back on. And
Yeah.
I,
And so surprised.
yeah, I tease them all the time and say, you guys are going to put me in your Hall of Fame. You don't know it yet, but you're gonna.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. I love that. I love that for sure. So, how do you use social media? You're younger than I am, but we're older than most of those kids at the racetrack, or some of them. But we still use it. And how do you use it for your racing? Promote your racing? Do you use it to help find sponsors? And what are you on Facebook? Where are you that we could find you?
I'm on Facebook. I'm just under my name, Gina. Well, it's Gina Ott Kolevar. My maiden name was Ott, but I really don't promote myself on Facebook, like my racing. I tend to promote my dad's stuff a lot, like the Gene Ott Memorial stuff. I do a lot of times post that. I do sell t-shirts, and it's all through social media, and I do very well with that. But I don't ask for sponsors. I know that's terrible. I have them, but I kind of feel like, oh, I went to college, I got a degree. I'll pay for it. I'd hate to let anybody down is probably my biggest thing.
Okay.
I do have sponsors on my car. I have about 5, and every one of them have come to me and asked. So I feel out of place. And for the ones that I have gone to and asked money for, it's been through the Gene Ott Memorial, and I always exceed above what I want. I wanted 30 sponsors one year and I got 52, and I wanted 40 the next year and I got 65. And so it works very well. I don't believe in asking for astronomical amounts. Like for the Gene Ott Memorial, I always say, it's a straight amount set across. It's something affordable. It's anything that anybody can do. But I have had some people, it is a small community, and
Mhm.
the county that it's in is one of the poorest counties in the state of Michigan,
Mhm.
unfortunately. But so one year people wanted to donate. So what we did for our race was we did lap sponsors. So
Oh, yeah.
if you can afford $10, then put $10 on whatever lap you want. $20 on this. Some laps had 100, some laps had 200, and so it varies.
Yeah.
So, but there were some laps that people had 3 or 4 sponsors on them because I just had so many people express interest. And you know what? If there's a way that people can feel involved, I
Mhm.
have that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. When you said you had 60 some sponsors, I was thinking, where'd she get them from? Because I mean, no offense, but you're not in a populated area.
No, no, no. I have a letter that I wrote, and it explains my story, how I got into racing, how it is associated with my dad, what his race is for. And typically, when people sponsor, what we do is we will put it on like a banner, and then the banner
Uh-huh.
hangs for 2 weeks. So really, these businesses are getting sponsorship for 2, 3 weeks for a minimal amount of money.
Right.
It's been the
Yeah.
easiest way to do it. It's a small enough community now, and this race has been going on. Well, I don't do the race anymore, but this is my sixth year of doing this, and it just runs itself, really.
Yeah.
A lot of people start, if I see them, they say, is it time to give money yet? Because they're
Mhm.
ready to do it and step forward.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. So, Gina, is there anything that we haven't talked about, either about you or your racing, that we want to share with my listeners?
Um, One question that I noticed you asked somebody else, and you said, what have you learned from driving a race car?
Oh, yeah.
So I wrote that question down as I was listening, because I thought, overall, I'm a much better person for having been in a race car. I'm a lot calmer. I'm a better driver on the road, and anybody that lives in Michigan, I'm a heck of a lot better driver on ice.
Yeah, no kidding.
So I'm a lot more comfortable behind the wheel. I understand the safety of my vehicle a lot more than
Mm-hmm.
I ever did before. So there are a lot of aspects that it's helped me grow
Yeah.
as an individual.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing is stepping out of the box, not being afraid to, like I said, I always wanted to get in a car and try it, but I was in that era where it wasn't commonplace, and I
Yeah.
didn't want to stand out or be. I didn't want to let my dad down either. So
Mm-hmm.
now it's one of those things where I'm doing it and I'm more proud that, hey, I'm almost 52 years old and I'm still doing it. So
Yeah.
I have a sticker on my car. It says, "You just got passed by a grandma."
Oh, I love it.
It's sassy and it's not always true, but I still love it.
I love it too. That's a great sticker for
So
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Gina, because I don't always ask the same questions. Just depends
Hmm.
on, the conversation and where it's going. But um, motorsports, especially, I think, especially drivers, but other people involved too. Motorsports will change them, mostly for the good, because I've had a lot of women tell me that they were very introverted, very shy. They never put themselves out there. And then, but deep down, they always wanted to drive. Maybe their husband drove or their dad or whoever. They always wanted to drive, and they finally did. And even like teenage older teens, young 20s, I hear that same thing, or I hear that I gained a lot of confidence and things that you can't teach somebody.
Right. Right. Actually, if I can give the chamber a little plug,
Absolutely, go for it.
one of the things that we have this year is we actually had a group of parents that their kids race mini wedges. And they said we would really, really love to be able to have the kids race. So that is one of the things that we actually started this year and
Good.
race this weekend. And the kids are racing mini wedges. And the great thing about it is it's teaching these kids sportsmanship at such a young age. And it is
Mm-hmm.
showing them camaraderie and working together. And so it's wonderful to see that, and especially in our community because it is small. So
Yeah,
that track is a huge part of everybody's lives. So
that's cool. Kalamazoo, I live in Kalamazoo, so they have a mini wedge program, and then a lot of other tracks are either starting or maybe in their second or third year of it, and you're hearing a lot more about mini wedges, and I love that, because that is the kids they're going to be driving that against you one of these days, and so got to keep those young ones interested.
I'll be 75 then, but it'll be fun still.
Well, I'll be 70 in December, but
Oh,
I'm not going to be driving a race car. I can tell you that for sure.
well,
No.
yeah, well, I'm not winning media awards either. So
Yeah,
for
well, you won another award, so it's kind of the same. But no, I love talking to women and telling their stories, and every one of them's different. I've had people say to me, well, you know, women in motorsports, don't aren't all the stories the same? And I said, no,
mm-mm,
they're not at all. So do they have similarities? Probably a lot of them do, but they're not the same.
right,
Everybody's different.
right.
Yeah.
You, like especially at our track, most of the women, if not all of them, have had some family member that's raced at the track. So they have that person there that inspires them.
Mhm.
And it's not very often that you see women just step in that, they
No.
had some type of connection, or a
Yeah.
lot of times with, like in my case, I loved my dad. I loved that time with him, and I've kind of got it back. And not only that, but the opportunity to see the worldview through my father's eyes in a race car
Mhm.
has been phenomenal. So
Yeah. Yeah, I don't most of I would say 90% of the women or girls that I've interviewed have had someone in the family, could even been an uncle or whoever, race and got him interested once in a great while. And I have interviewed some this year that say, nope, in school, the one girl said in school they gave me I had to do a project, and she was flipping through a magazine or something, and she came across an article about racing, and she's like, okay, I don't know anything about this. This is what my story's going to be about. And now she drives.
isn't that crazy?
Isn't that, I mean, what are the chances of that happening?
Well, you got one.
Yeah, I got one. So they're
Um,
all cool stories, that's for sure.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
next weekend at our racetrack, they're actually having, which would be July 19th. I don't know if this is going to air before that, but any kids 15 or under, one of the businesses in the community is paying for the kids to be able to get in. So it's autograph night, which is my favorite night by far.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited about that.
That sounds fun. And about how many cars are at the speedway on a given weekend? Do you
Uh,
know?
it varies. It's a small track.
Yeah.
Some nights there might be 80 cars, and
Oh,
other nights
that's a lot.
50, 60. Yeah. It's not
Yeah.
it's not as busy, I'll say that word, as like the dirt tracks are in this area. They're a
Yeah.
lot busier than we are, but you know what? We have a lot of consistency. The fans can
Hmm.
come and they know their drivers, and
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah. I think the Bozels were just up there a couple weeks ago to race.
We did have we had the CRNA, the
Something.
Jegs cars, or yeah.
Yeah. They race like late models, limited to late models.
Yeah, yep, we've had 2 big races in the last 2 weeks, actually, so
Yeah.
I
Because I interviewed Bryce Bozel. He's 14 and drives a late model, and he races against his dad and his grandpa. So that's pretty cool. But I think
yeah,
that's
they own a track?
no.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
okay.
No, but they're from Portage, Michigan down here, and they hold all like Andy Bozell holds all kinds of track records all over the place. But yeah, and now the grandson Bryce is 14, and he's been racing at least 2-3 years. So he
Isn't that
started little.
we have some a few kids that were 13, 14, well, not 13, 14 years old getting into cars, and they drive like they've driven for 100
I
years.
know.
So
Isn't that crazy?
it
Wow.
is. It is, because I didn't have that at all.
No,
Mine's been learning
most
it.
people don't for sure. Well, Gina, thanks again for being on. I really appreciate
Oh,
you
no problem.
taking the time and sharing your story. I know you're going to have a great season. You're going to be in the winner's circle. I'm manifesting that for you because I want to see you there. And then please stay in touch and let me know how things are going
Sure.
and and that because I like to keep track. And if I ever get up that direction, I'll be sure to let you know.
Oh yeah, for sure. Stop in, have some dinner.
There we go. Yeah, I'll remember that you're the good cook for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again for being on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Picture this. You're at the track looking at all the merch trailers. What do you see? Shirts and hats everywhere. And you think, I want more. That's how Four Left Turns was born. At Four Left Turns, we create unique products for race fans. Our retail website is fourleftturns.net. And if you're looking to stock your gift shop or merch trailer, we also sell wholesale. Four Left Turns is a one-stop shop for everything racing. Well, except shirts and hats. We don't do those. Made for race fans by race fans, fourleftturns.net.
That's it for this episode of the Women's Motorsports Network podcast. We hope you've been inspired by the stories I shared today and feel more connected to the amazing community of women in motorsports. Remember, whether you're behind the wheel, in the pits, or cheering from the stands, your story matters. And together, we're driving change and celebrating every milestone. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with someone who loves motorsports as much as you do. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram for updates, behind the scenes content, and more incredible stories. So until next time, stay inspired, stay connected, and keep racing through life. This is the Women's Motorsports Network podcast, where every woman's story is worth celebrating.